Hi, Helen from crystalsandcrochet.com here, and welcome to part 6 of Sacred Space Crochet Along. Okay, in this part we are going to work rounds 78 through to 90. So it sounds like a lot of rounds, but some of them are very short. So basically we're going to go from here and work our way out, and we're starting to build up our corners, although you won't be completely square at the end of this part. Okay, so have fun, enjoy, and share photos once you're done. Okay, so round 78. We're going to join with a standing back post double crochet around the last double of any 5 double crochet shell. Okay, so these are our shells. That's the last double crochet, so we're going to join with a back post double around that last stitch. Okay, so there we are around that one. Okay, and then we are going to start our repeat. So you're going to put my teeth back in, skip the next stitch, which is the single crochet, so we don't work into any of the singles. The only stitches we're going to be working into or around are those 5 double crochet in each shell. Okay, so skip that one, and we're going to go back post around the next stitch, back post double, back post half double, back post single around the center one, back post half double around the next, and back post double around the next. Okay, so it's really simple. All we're doing by going double, half double, single, half double, double is we're creating the curve within the shell but making the top line straight. Okay, so again, skip the single, back post double around the first stitch, back post half double around the second, back post single around the third, back post half double around the fourth, and back post double around the fifth. Okay, so go ahead, work all the way round doing that, and then when you come to this last shell, you've already made that last back post double, so just join there with a slip stitch, and I will see you for the next round. Okay, round 79. And before we start, there's a little hint. Time to get the stitch markers out again. Again, if you use a stitch marker in the second half double, because this round is all half doubles, so it's a nice quick round, second half double of each increase, then it just helps you to keep track of your stitch count a little bit more easily. Okay, so we are going to chain 1 and make 2 half double crochet in that same stitch. 1 and 2. Okay, so stitch marker in the second one, and then really easy, you're going to half double crochet in the next 31 stitches, and then 2 half double in the next. Okay, so just a half double crochet in each of the next 31 stitches. Okay, so I'm just going to do that, and then I will come back to you. Okay, so that's 31 half double crochet, and then in our next stitch we're going to do 2. So a nice simple round to finish off our circle. Okay, before we start the next round, I'm going to take you very, very carefully through placing your corner markers. Okay, so just whiz round this one, 31 half double crochet, 2 in the next stitch, 20 times, come on right back round to that first half double crochet, join there, fasten off and secure your ends. Okay, so before we start round 80, we need to make sure that we have got some stitch markers in place, and these are going to mark our corners. So unfortunately I can't zoom out anymore, and my video camera's as high up as it will go. So what we need to do is find this section in part 1 here, okay, and take that as our centre point and use like a straight edge or ruler or tape measure or something to come up from there, and it should hit the centre of a dip. And then if I very carefully move that, what we want to do is line up with that and place a stitch marker in that stitch. Okay, so that is actually going to be the center of one of your sides, so that when you have finished, your center part, part 1, is straight with the rest of your blanket. If you don't do this, it's highly likely that you'll end up with that center part skew-if and the whole thing won't look quite right. Okay, so what you are going to do is just place that one marker there, okay? But you will need to use markers at regular intervals with round 80, just to help you with your stitch count. Okay, so round 80. We are going to join with a standing single crochet in our marked stitch. Okay, now as I said, this is actually the center of one of your sides. It's not where your corner is going to go. So you are now going to single crochet in the next 77 stitches. Okay, excuse Mr. J whittering away down there. So I'm going to go ahead and do, it will be a total of 78 single crochet. Okay, so the pattern says single crochet in the next 77 stitches. I'll do that and then catch up with you there. So we started with a standing single crochet in our marked stitch, and I've then made another 77 single crochet. So I tend to put a marker in every 20th stitch when I'm doing a lot of stitches like this, all the same, just purely because 20 is an easy number to count, and generally it's as far as I get before I get interrupted in some way and lose count. So it's much easier to just go back and count 20 rather than 77. Okay, so now we are going to start to make our corners. Just bring that in a weeny bit, there we go. Okay. So again, this is where our repeat starts. So we are going to skip the next 3 stitches, and then we're going to make our corner over 3 stitches. Okay, so it's not all in one. So here we go. we are going to skip 1, 2, 3. Then in that next stitch we are going to make a 2 treble cluster, chain 1 3 times. Okay, so you know your 2 treble cluster now because we've used this a few times. So there's the first one, chain 1. Oops. 2, chain 1. Start again on that one. That's better. 3, chain 1. Okay, don't forget the chain 1, that's part of your repeat. So it's a 2 treble cluster, chain 1 3 times. 1, 2, 3. We're then going to make a 2 treble cluster in the next stitch. And then in the next stitch we're going to chain 1, 2 treble cluster 3 times. Okay, that's 1, chain 1, and 2 treble cluster. That's twice, chain 1 and 2 treble cluster, and this is the third one. Okay, so no chain 1 after this one, chain 1 spaces before. Okay, then we're then going to skip the next 3 stitches, so make sure that if this one is hidden that you don't miss that. Okay, so skip 1, 2, 3, and you're then going to single crochet in the next 156 stitches. Let me just make a few and then we can see. Okay, so this is the beginning of our corner. Let me zoom right in so you can see. Okay, so we've got 2 treble cluster, chain 1 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that's all in this first stitch. Then in the next stitch we've got a 2 treble cluster, and then in the next stitch we've got chain 1 2 treble cluster 3 times. Okay, so you've got a total of 7 2 treble clusters and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chain 1 spaces. Okay, and then as I said, 156 single crochet coming all the way round. That completes your side or your repeat, because they're not really sides yet, but this is the base of our corner. Okay, so go ahead and do that 4 times, so you've got the 4 sides all done. When you come all the way back round on this 4th side, you're going to omit the last 78 single crochet, okay, because we had our standing one plus 77. Join to that standing single crochet, fasten off and secure your ends. Okay, so we are now going to excuse me, work each of the 4 corners separately. Okay, so yes, there are going to be a lot of ends to work away, but we'll take that one step at a time. Okay, you cannot make a circle this large into a square by working continually around it, so that's why we have to make the corners separately before we join everything together. Okay, so we're going to join with a standing single crochet in the 7th stitch before any corner group. Okay, so obviously this is the corner group, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the stitch that we're going to go into to make a standing single crochet. Okay, and we're then going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Okay, so you've got 4 single crochet there, and you've then got 3 singles that you've not worked into yet. We're going to half double in the next stitch, skip the next stitch, and double crochet in the next one. Okay, so the double crochet falls into the last single. Okay, we've then got our little mini repeat that we're going to do. We are going to front post double around the cluster, and we're then going to make 2 double crochet in the chain 1 space. Okay, and you're going to do that 6 times. Now, I personally find it easier to repeat the same round on each corner, mainly because it's easy to remember the repeat, but also because it's just easier to build the whole thing up together rather than work all of one corner and then work all of the next corner, etc. Okay, so it's front post around the cluster, and then 2, these are all double crochets in the chain 1 space. Come all the way round. Okay, so that is 6 times. And then we are going to front post double round the next stitch, which is the cluster, double crochet in the next stitch, skip the next stitch, half double in the next one, and then single crochet in the next 4 stitches. Okay, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Cut your yarn, leaving yourself a nice long tail to work with, and just pull the loop through. That way your stitch is secure at both ends, but don't try to work the ends away yet. I will show you how to do that after another few rounds. Okay, so go ahead and do that on each of the 4 corners, and I will see you for the next round. Okay, round 82. Now you'll actually find each round now as we go, as we build up the corners, we're always going to do the same thing at the start and join with a standing single crochet in the 4th stitch of round 80, which is my yellow one here, before the previous standing single crochet. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where we're going to go each time. Let me just zoom in a bit so you can see that nice and closely. Okay, so this is round 80, the yellow round, and it's the 4th stitch here before that previous standing single. Okay, and we're then going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches. Okay, so we've got 3 that are still in round 80, and then the first one of this previous round. Okay, so now what I tend to do is just the 2 stitches either side of the previous round, I work over the tail end of the previous round. Okay, just helps to keep things a little bit tidier. Okay, and then into that first stitch there as well. Okay, so you've now got the end trapped under here, and when we come to work it away, it makes it much easier to work it away along the back of these stitches. Okay, so that's our single crochet in the next 4 stitches. We are then going to half double in the next 2 and 2, and then we're going to double crochet in the next 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry if the sound of the wind is picking up on the video, but it is really, really stormy windy here today. I was a bit crazy down on the beach this morning. I go down there every morning with Mr. J for a walk, and it was very, very windy. Waves crashing everywhere, but it was lovely. Okay, let's see how many I've done there. So that was the 2 half double. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So there's number 12. Okay, so the next stitch is the front post double made around that treble 2 treble cluster that's on its own in a stitch. Okay, so essentially this is the middle of our corner. Okay, and we're going to make 3 double crochet in that stitch. 1, 2 and 3. Okay, and then all we're going to do is mirror that coming down the other side. So double crochet in the next 12. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. And we're going to half double in the next 2. And you will find as you work what happens is this first stitch tends to get stretched up, so you just need to sort of pull it over and hold it just to keep that stitch where you can see it properly. So we're now going to single crochet in 5. So it's that last one there, and then working over this tail, make another 2. So that's 3 altogether, and then that's 4 and 5. Okay. Again, cut your yarn, leaving yourself a nice long tail, and that There we go. Okay, so go ahead and repeat that on the other 3 corners. So you've got your standing single in the 4th stitch before the previous one, then another 4 single, 2 half double, 12 double, 3 double in that central front post double, 12 double, 2 half double, 5 single. Okay, round 83. And again we're going to join with a standing single crochet in the 4th stitch of round 80 before the previous standing single. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So again into the next one and then working over the tail end from the previous round, do 2 more. Okay, so that's 3, and then the 4th one goes into that standing single crochet from the previous round. Okay. Now we're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and then in the next stitch we're going to make a shell. Okay, so it's going to be a treble, and chain 1 4 times. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then another treble. Okay, so if you look at the pattern, it says in the next stitch, and then you've got a parenthesis and then a second parenthesis with treble, chain 1, close a parenthesis 4 times, treble, and then close the final parenthesis. Okay, so make sure that you've got 5 trebles and 4 chain 1 spaces. Skip the next 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, and you're going to do that 5 times in total. Okay, so again it's skip the next 3 stitches, then we're going to make a shell in this next stitch, which is treble, chain 1, four times, was it 3, 4, and then a 5th treble. Okay, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet in the next one. Okay, so go ahead and do that 5 times in total, and I will catch up with you at this end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. We're then going to finish this off by skipping 1, 2, 3 stitches, single crochet in the next one. So that last single crochet of the 5th repeat falls in your last single crochet from the previous round, and we are now going to single crochet in the next 4. And again I'm just going to work over that tail end just to help to secure it in there. Okay, so it's 2, 3 and 4. Cut your yarn, pull through to secure it, or fasten off. Okay, and then that's our repeat this time round. So you've got 4 single crochet at this end, and then your repeat is your treble and chain shell, skip 3, treble and chain shell, skip 3, single crochet. Okay, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochet that go with your repeats, and then another 4 single crochet at this end. Okay, so you have a total of 5 and 5 here and 5 shells. Okay, go ahead and do that for the other 3 corners, and I'll see you for the next round. Okay, round 84, and again we're going to start with a standing single crochet in the 4th stitch of round 80 before the previous standing single. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to single crochet in the next 7 stitches. Okay, so 1, and then work over the tail end for the next 2. So that's 3. 4 goes into that standing single, and then 5, 6 and 7. Okay, so you've got 1 single crochet left, and you are going to front post single around that stitch. Okay, and now we've got a sort of repeat within a repeat. Okay, so we're going to back post double around the next stitch and half double crochet in the chain 1 space. Okay, I'm going to do that 4 times. So back post double, half double, back post double, half double, back post double and half double. Okay, so that's what we've got, and we're then going to back post double around that last treble of the shell, and then front post double around the next stitch. Okay, and you're going to do that 4 times. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So around those 4 shells, so you'll make a front post double around, front post double around this last one here. Okay, so go ahead and do that 3 more times, and I'll catch up with you there. Okay, so we've repeated that 4 times, so you've got the back post double around the treble and the half double in the chain 1 space, with a front post double around the single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Okay, and then we're just going to finish the last shell off. So it's back post double around the next stitch and half double in the next chain 1 space, and we are going to do that 4 times. That's 2. And 3. And 4. and then going to back post double around that last treble, and then front post single around the next stitch. Okay, and we're now going to single crochet in the next 8 stitches, so make sure that you don't skip. Let me just zoom in to show you. Make sure that you don't skip that first one there, okay? So you've got 1, 2, 3 and 4 there, and then another 4, so work over the tail end for 2, give it a little pull to make sure it's all neat on the back, and then 1 and 2. Okay, so that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 single crochet there. Snip the ends off, and that is your corner. Okay, so go ahead and do that on the other 3 corners. So you've got 8 single crochet either side, then you've got a front post single, and then with your shells it's back post double around the treble and half double crochet in the chain 1 spaces, and you've then got 4 front post double crochets around the singles between the shells. Okay, round 85. Before this round there's a hint that says, for more stability work through back loop and third loop. Okay, so that's going to be when we're doing back loop stitches, so I'll cover that when we get to it. But again, we are going to join with a standing single crochet in the 4th stitch, so 1, 2, 3, 4 of round 80 before the previous single. And we are going to single crochet in the next 8 stitches. Okay, so into that one, and then over the tail end of the previous round for 2, then there's number 4, 5, oops, let's complete that one before we move on to the next one. Where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we're going to skip 3 stitches, these 3, and in the next stitch, which is our front post single, we are going to make shells the same as we did here. So it's treble, chain 1, and we're going to do that 4 times. So here's number 3, the chain 1, and then the number 4, and then another treble. Okay, so we're actually going to build up 3 lots of these as they go up, but they're all just slightly different, so you do need to keep your eye on the repeat and on the pattern. Okay, so we're then going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and we're then going to back loop single in the next 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 to skip. So we're going to start with this half double, and if you just push down through the front loop and then push back, you can see you also pick up that third loop on the back, and that just means that you don't stretch the top of your stitches. Okay, because it is quite easy when you're only working through one loop to end up stretching the stitches and everything goes a little bit baggy. Okay, excuse me. So back loop single in 3, and that is essentially our repeat that we're going to do 5 times. Okay, so skip the next 3 stitches, then we're going to make another shell in the front post double, and then again we'll skip 3, back loop single in 3, skip 3, etc. Okay, so I'm going to work my way round and make my last shell over here. So 5 times we're going to do it, and then I will come back to you. Okay, so don't worry if everything keeps going all wobbly. Very often you will find through any of my patterns I will tell you that your work will cup or it will go wobbly or whatever. Just rest assured that I have, when I've designed these, I've made rounds and undone them and made them and undone them and made them to make sure that everything works absolutely perfectly. So you just have to have a little bit of faith and trust in the madness of my mind that it does all work. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, we've done that 5 times, ending that 5th repeat with the 3 back loop singles. Then we are going to skip the next 3 stitches, and we're going to make our next shell here in the front post single. Okay, so it matches exactly with the other side, and it's exactly the same treble crochet, chain 1 4 times, and then make a 5th treble crochet. So let's just whiz that in. 3 and come on, 4 and 5. Okay, so then we are going to skip the next 3 stitches and single crochet in the next 9. So again, make sure, because there's quite a lot in that one stitch, make sure that you count this first one. So 1, 2, 3. So we should have 5 to work in here. 1, 2, 3. Let's hold that down. 4 and 5. Oops, if we can get the hook to get in the right place. 5, okay, and then another 4 that are worked into round 80. Okay, and snip and pull through. Okay, so as I said, it's going to be wobbly. Don't worry about that. It will all work out perfectly in the end. Okay, so go ahead and repeat that on the other 3 corners, making sure that you've got 9 single crochet either side here, and then you've got 6 shells in total, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots of 3 back post single crochets. Okay, on to round 86. Again, we're going to join with a standing single crochet in the 4th stitch of round 80 before the previous standing single. and this time we are going to single crochet in the next 11 stitches. Okay, 1, again, don't forget to work over your tail ends, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Okay, so we've got 1 single crochet left there. So as with this round down here, we're going to front post single around that one, and then we are going to do the same back post double around the next stitch and half double in the next chain 1 space, and we're going to do that 4 times. 2, 3 and 4. Okay, back post double round the next one, okay, and now we're going to front post double crochet around the next 3 stitches. So it's always a little bit tricky getting around a single, but you can do it. Okay. Excuse me. So that's our repeat that you're going to do 5 times. Okay, which is going to bring us round to here. Okay, so go ahead and do that 5 times and then I'll catch up with you round here. Okay, so that's 5 times that we've done that repeat, ending with the 3 front post doubles, and then from there we're going to do this shell same as the others, so back post double around the stitch and then a half double into the chain 1 space 4 times, and then a final front post double at the end. So let's just whiz round those. Okay, so that's 4 times, and then that final back post double, and then to mirror the other side we're going to front post single around that first stitch and then single crochet in the next 12, making sure you don't skip this first one after your front post single. Okay, so as I say, similar to round 84, but slightly different. And 9, 10, 11 and 12. Okay, so we've got 12 single crochets on either side. We've got a front post single at this side and at this side, and then our shells are the same as before. Back post double around the stitch, half double in the chain one space all the way across, 3 front post doubles around those 3 stitches there, so 1 around each of those stitches. Okay, so go ahead and repeat that for the other 3 corners, and I'll see you for the next round. Okay, round 87. So again in this round, the hint is for when you work the back loop stitches that you work through the 3rd loop and the back loop, just to keep them nice and stable. Okay, so again we are going to join with a standing single in the 4th stitch before the previous standing single. Whoops. So there we go. It's getting quite heavy now and everything keeps sliding off the table. Okay, so single crochet in the next 12 stitches. So 1 over the tail end, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Okay, so we've got 3 single crochet left there before that front post single, and so this is sort of the 3rd time of doing this similar band, but as I say, each time it's just slightly different. But we are going to make a shell of treble chain 1 4 times and a treble. So we're going to skip 3, and then the first shell is going to go into that front post single, exactly as it has on the other rounds. Okay, so you should be able to follow the instructions quite easily now on the pattern and sort of understand what the little repeats are in between all the parentheses. Okay, here we go. So we've got 1 2 3 4 5 trebles and 4 chain 1 spaces. Then we're going to skip the next 3 stitches, 1 2 3, back loop single in the next 3, 1 2 and 3. Okay, now this is where again we go a little bit different. Okay, you're going to skip the next 4 stitches each time. Okay, so 1 2 3 and 4, so it means that your shell is going to be made into the 2nd or middle front post double. Okay, now you know as we work this next round it sort of covers up any slightly stretched loops etc. here, but if you fold your work over and sort of bring this stitch closer to this one, it just stops the top loop from stretching too much. and by the time you get into the sort of second or third treble, okay, so it just doesn't stretch quite so much there. Oops. So that's 3. Oops. Sorry, my hands have gone hot, so my yarn's gone all squeaky. Oops. Hold on. There we go. Right, and skip 4 stitches again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And each time it's going to be the half double, back post double or half double that are sort of around that centre of the previous fan that you're going to work into. Okay, so the extra stitch that you are skipping is the front post double. Okay, so that's our little repeat there. So you've got your shells exactly the same, but this time you're skipping 4 stitches in between here. Okay, so go ahead and do that 5 times, and then I will catch up with you once we get round to this other side. Okay, so I've done that 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I got a bit carried away, so I've already done the next bit, which is the 3, the back loop single in the next 3 stitches. Then we're just going to skip 3 stitches, coming down to make our last shell, which is in that front post single to match the other side. Okay, so you've got the hang of this by now. So it's treble, chain 1 4 times, and then another treble. And then the last treble. Okay, and then again we are going to skip the next 3 stitches. So again, make sure you don't miss that one there. 1, 2, 3, and then single crochet in the next 13 stitches. Okay, so that comes through all of these, and then again you always start and finish with 4 from round 80. Oops. Come on, Helen. That's that last one, and then 2 over the tail end of the previous round, and another 2. Okay, so yes, you've got loads of ends hanging around here at the moment, but we will sort all of those out before we finish. Let me see if I can just zoom, oops, wrong way, zoom right out. Okay, so you can see where we're at, and it's still a little bit wobbly, but don't worry about that. Okay, so go ahead and repeat all of that on the other 3 corners, and I'll see you for the next round. Round 88, and again we are going to join with a standing single crochet in the 4th stitch of round 80 before the previous standing single. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then single crochet in the next 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Half double in the next 2 stitches. Please excuse Mr. J, for some reason he's I don't know, got the grumps today. Skip the next stitch and then V-stitch in the next stitch. So a V-stitch is quite simply a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all in the same stitch. Okay, so earlier on we did down here we did double V stitches. These are just normal V stitches. Okay, so double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip the next 2 stitches. Okay, so it's V stitch, skip 2, V stitch. We're going to do that 3 times. So V stitch, skip 2 and V stitch. Okay, so we've got 3 V stitches there now. And we skip the next 2, so that's the last 2 single crochets. Okay, so that's how you should be looking so far. And now we're going to start our actual repeat. Okay, so we've got a back post double around the next stitch and half double in the next chain 1 space 4 times, and then a back post double around the next stitch, and that's sort of basically the same as we've done around the shells before. So let's just pop those in quickly. Okay, so that's as we've done the previous twice, we're working around the shell in the same way, but then you are going to skip the next stitch, V-stitch in the next stitch, skip the next stitch. Okay, so it's in the second or central back loop single that we're going to make a V-stitch. Okay, so that's our little repeat that we're going to do 6 times. Okay, so that's working all the way over to here. Okay, so I'm going to do that and I'll catch back up with you. Okay, so we've done 6 repeats coming round, and the last repeat brings us to this V-stitch here. Then you need to work around the last shell in exactly the same way, back post double around the treble and half double into the chain 1 space. Okay, and then we're going to skip the next 2 stitches and V-stitch into the next stitch 3 times. 1, 2 and 3. Okay, and then we skip the next stitch, so just 1, and then we're going to half double crochet in the next 2, and then we're going to single in the next 5. So it's the last one there, and then 4 down into round 80. Cut your yarn and fasten off. Okay, so let me see if I can zoom out a weenie. Oops, wrong way, sorry. Okay, so that's our full repeat from side to side. It's getting almost too long now to be able to show you all of it on the video camera. Okay, so go ahead and do that for the next 3 corners, and I'll see you for the next round. Okay, round 89. And remember, with your popcorns, you're going to close with a chain 1, and that doesn't count in any further chains that you're asked to make. Okay, so again, we're going to start 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches before the previous standing single, and we're going to get everything in the right place. Single crochet in the next 4 stitches. Okay, that's number 4, goes into the previous standing single crochet. Get all these ends out the way. That's it. Okay, half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Double crochet in the next 4 stitches. Okay, that takes us to that second half double that we made before the V-stitch. Okay, chain 1, and then you are going to popcorn in the V-stitch and chain 2 twice. Okay, so remember, with your V-stitch, it's the chain 1 space, or the middle of the V-stitch, that you work into. So exactly the same as before. 5 double crochet, into the first loops, pull back that second one, close and chain 1, and then chain 2. Okay, I'm going to do that twice, so that's once, three, 4, and 5. One, 2. Okay, so that's popcorn in the V-stitch, chain 2 twice, and we're then going to popcorn in the next V-stitch. So this is another repeat that we're starting. Popcorn in the next V-stitch, chain 3, skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we don't count anything of this V-stitch at all, so it's 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to back loop single in the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 3, skip the next 3 stitches, so that's 1, 2, 3, and then start again. So popcorn in the V-stitch, chain 3, skip 3 stitches, back loop single in 3, chain 3, skip 3 stitches. Okay, so we're going to do that 7 times, and I will come back to you once I've done that. Okay, so we've done that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, not forgetting the chain 3. Don't worry if it's curling up a little bit. If you look at the size of the top loops of a normal stitch, your chains should be the same size. If they're much tighter, it will cause your work to curl up quite a lot. Okay? If they're a lot looser, then this will go a little bit baggy with the next round. But as a general rule, your top loops of your stitches and your chains should be the same size. Okay, whoops, wrong way, sorry. Go back, that's it. Okay, so right, let me just see where we're at. Okay, so we're also skipping those next 3 stitches. That's the end part of our 7 times repeat. So we're then going to popcorn in the next stitch. Okay, and then chain 2, and we're going to do that twice, so that's once and then twice will bring us to our chain 2 here, and then popcorn in that last V-stitch, and I'll catch up with you again. Okay, there. So we've done popcorn chain 2 twice, and then we've done a popcorn in the last V-stitch, remembering to close with a chain 1. We are then going to make another chain 1. Okay, remember that one is part of the popcorn stitch, this one is for the pattern. We're then going to double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So again, remember, it's not this part of the V-stitch, it's in the 2 half double crochets. Oops, need more yarn. And then the next 2 stitches. So that's 4 altogether. And we're then going to half double crochet in the next 2. There we go, and we've got 1 single left there. We're going to single crochet in the next 5. Okay, so it's that last one plus 4 into round 80, the same as we have been doing on each round. 3 and 4. Okay, so cut your yarn, fasten your end. Go ahead and repeat that. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit more. Go ahead and repeat that on the other 3 corners. And I'll see you for the next round. Round 90. This is the last round for this part. And it looks really complicated because there's a lot of text there in the instruction. But you will soon see it's actually fairly simple. Okay, so again we are going to start in the 4th stitch before the previous standing single crochet, and we are then going to single crochet in the next 14 stitches and a single crochet in that chain 1 space. Okay, so same as before, the first 3 are going to go into round 80. And then work your way along so that you've got a single crochet in that chain 1 space. So we've got a total of 16 single crochets there. Okay, our standing one, then a following 14, and then 1 in that chain 1 space. Okay, we are then going to front post single around the popcorn and make 2 single crochet in the next chain 2 space, and we're going to do that twice. 1 and 2. And then we are going to front post single around the popcorn, 3 single crochet in the chain 3 space, single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and 3 single crochet in the chain 3 space. Okay, so front post single around the popcorn, 3 single in the chain 3 space, 3 in those next 3 stitches, 3 in the chain 3 space, and we're going to do that twice, so that's going to bring us up to here. Okay, so we've done that repeat twice, and that brings us up to the popcorn between the 2nd and 3rd shells. Okay, now we're just going to make the stitches slightly taller, so we're going to go front post half double around the popcorn, 3 half double in the chain 3 space, half double in the next 3 stitches, and then 3 half double in the next chain 3 space. Okay, taller again, we're going to go to double crochets this time. So front post double around the popcorn, 3 double in the next chain 3 space, okay. Now we are going to start to form almost like a sort of a point, or we're going to start to widen off here. Okay, so in the next stitch we are going to do 2 double crochet, next stitch it's 3 treble, and that sort of takes us to the top. So now coming down the other way, we're going to mirror what we've done on the other side. So 2 double crochet in the next stitch, 3 double crochet in the chain 3 space, front post double around the popcorn. Okay, and then we're going to go to half doubles, so 3 in the chain 3 space, 3 in those next 3 stitches, 1 in each, 3 half doubles in the next chain 3 space, and front post half double around the next popcorn. Okay, so we match exactly to what we've done on this side. So now we are going to do single crochets, and we're going to do twice. So 3 single crochet in the chain 3 space, single crochet in the next 3 stitches, 3 in the chain 3 space, and front post single around the popcorn. Okay, and we need to do that twice. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and a front post. Okay, and then again mirroring the other side, we are going to make 2 single crochet into the chain 2 space, front post single around the popcorn, and we'll do that twice. There we go. And then finally, I'm losing all the blanket, finally we're going to come back down here, so we need to go 1 single crochet in the chain 1 space, and then single crochet in the next 15 stitches. Okay, so that is going to take us all the way down here. Oops. There's the one in the chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, so that is part 6 finished once you've done the other 3 corners. Okay, so in the pattern, or at the end of the pattern, in bold under the photograph for round 90, it says work away all ends except round 90. Okay, so the only one that you're going to leave is this last one. So work away all of these other ends, and the easiest way I find to do it, and the most secure way, is starting at the beginning and working your way along. Just take your yarn needle and work those ends along, and go back and forth 3 times, and then cut your end off. Okay, so yes, it does seem like quite a lot of ends, but get them done and then you're all neat and tidy, ready to start part 7 next time. Okay, but do remember, leave round 90, don't sew that end away, purely because it's easier to work over that end in the next round and then work it away afterwards. Okay, so there's the beginning of our corners. Okay, so if I turn it that way, you might be able to see how it's starting. Let's get straight. Okay, so we're starting to straighten out, but we've still got a fair bit to work to get our corners square, and we will do that in the next part. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this part. See you next time.